Hey guys, in this tutorial I want to talk about Aftertouch and using Aftertouch inside Razer. And I hope you guys are all subscribing to our YouTube channel and checking out ADSR sounds and commenting on the videos, because this stuff is awesome and it helps us. And for the Aftertouch, I find that Razer is probably the most useful synth to use Aftertouch in, especially with the dissonance effect, and I'm gonna show you why in a minute. Let's first quickly go over this patch and you can maybe rebuild it, and then we can start to have some fun with it. So pitch down 2 octaves in a familiar fashion, prime oscillator for the first one with the ratio all the way down, amount all the way down since it's controlled by the Aftertouch, amp all the way up and the color a bit up. Then pulse width, the pulse width is all the way up and it's also modulated by the Aftertouch. Same for the amp, and the ratio is set to 1.11, which is a bit weird. And then we have the color at 2 o'clock, between 2 and 3. And then we get to the low pass with the attack smoother up here, and the decay smoothness is up, and the cutoff is all the way up. Boost is just in the middle, and the width is all the way up, and the slope is right there where you can see it. For the second filter we have a comb peak filter, which is tuned, don't forget that, with this button right here. And the stretch is a little bit down, phase up, boost up, and cutoff around 15. Then we get to the central effect. The amount is controlled by the Aftertouch and the pitch is controlled by the Aftertouch in the opposite direction. And just reverb, we have the synced reverb, not too much wet signal, a little bit more decay. And we have the safe bass, and I think that's pretty much it. We do have envelope 2 on the cutoff of the second filter. Just make it look like this, slow attack, fairly normal decay and sustain, just everything. Let's set everything straight up like that. And that should give you this sound. Right, but then we get into the Aftertouch stuff, and the Aftertouch is on a lot here. It's on the prime amount, it's on the pulse width, it's on the amp of the second oscillator, it's on the cutoff here, on the boost, on the width, and it's also on the central. And this is going to be the biggest deal, because when I press my key harder now, because that's Aftertouch, it will turn up the amount and turn down the pitch, and it will sound like this. And I found that with a lot of the these effects, these detuning effects, dissonance effects I should say, sometimes in the beginning they might not seem really useful because they really detune the sound. And how can you make a nice melody or bass sound when everything is detuning all the time? Well, there are a few tricks. First is to let the pitch listen to key track or pitch track, but another great way to think about it is, and that's what I do, to use it as sort of an effect. And that's why I set the Aftertouch to this, so now I can use it only when I want. And normally I would then bounce the sound and just go crazy with the Aftertouch and the pitch, then bounce the sound, and then use the parts that I like. So let's do that. Let's demonstrate that real quick. I'm gonna make a loop here, and I'm just gonna press record, and then I'm gonna play some random keys. Alright, and now we're gonna make some audio of that bouncing. That's a bit slow logic. Okay, so now we have our cool audio file. And this is where the fun really starts, because I already have sort of a song right here, and I'm gonna choose a useful region to loop, and I'm gonna drag this up a little bit. Sorry, takes a while. And this is the part that we've got so far. So you can hear there are some gaps in there, and of course I'm skipping the intro and all that stuff. This is, I think this is going to be the main section, and I hear a few gaps that could use maybe a nice razor sound. For example, this area here is pretty empty, so I'm gonna take this sound, and I'm sorry about that, I'm gonna cut it into smaller pieces, and in Logic I can hold I think Control and Option and then right click, and it makes these even sections, and I want them to be even smaller. Okay, that doesn't work. Well, fucking phone. Alright, and now I can choose some of these parts, like this one. Check what it sounds like. That's nice. And that one is better. I'm gonna make a new channel, mute all these. And this would fit nicely here because we have just a pad here. So that's already a little bit more interesting. And maybe here we can do a stutter. So we can just copy this and repeat it a few times, and then make it a little bit smaller. And here we could fit another part, and as you can see I just randomly choose these parts depending on how the waveform looks and what I feel like. So, and from now on there's just so much stuff you can do, because I can also, now that it's audio, I can maybe reverse a section. So I'm gonna bounce it again, double click, file, functions, reverse. Doesn't look oh, there it is. Okay. I like this section right there. So that's cool, and I don't really like that sound. It's a bit too boring, so I can try to replace that with a razor sound. Hey, that's not bad. That's not bad. Maybe layer them. That's pretty cool. And then I can make this razor sound very stereo with a sample delay, because now it's like this. And then I want it to be like this, to layer over this bass. So that's pretty cool, I think, and that is how I use a razor to make more, well, I guess I cannot call this heavy, but to make more glitchy type stuff. So with a little bit of the build up in there. So I hope you get something out of that, and if you got new ideas for tutorials, let me know, and I will see you next week. Thanks.